Welcome to the Period Besties podcast with Stasha and Katie. Think about it as chatting with your best friends about all the TMI stuff you've never talked about before with two period coaches who've been helping hormones collectively for over 20 years now. I'm Stasha.
And I'm Katie, and we're pulling back the curtain on what it's like in the world of menstrual coaching. From puberty to menopause and everything in between, we're here to show you how period coaching can save the day. We'll share practical tips and information you can put to immediate use to improve your hormones and happiness.
We're removing the mystery, ending the taboo, and shining a light on just how powerful period coaching can be.
So whether you need period coaching or are considering becoming a period coach yourself, these episodes are going to help you. We'll share stories, coach live on air, and bring smart, savvy guests to share their wisdom too. Let's start today's episode.
Hi, besties. Welcome back. Today we're talking about sleep. Oh my goodness. Most of us probably need more sleep. Most of us probably wish we could sleep forever and stay in our bed. But seriously, we must have this conversation about sleep. It is so vital for your hormones, for your brain health, for your heart health, for your overall longevity. And most of us are not actually getting quality sleep. This is something that I struggled with for the majority of my life, actually, until my early 30s, when I took it seriously and decided, Katie, you need to figure out how to get a better night's sleep. And we're excited to share some things that we've been working on, but I think we're all in agreement that sleep might be the hardest thing that we do every day, just trying to get good sleep.
Yeah, and especially when that study came out showing that women needed more sleep than men, and the whole 8 hours thing was based on men and not women, and that women do better with 9, 10 hours of sleep. And I don't know about you, but most women I know are getting less sleep than their male partners. So most women were getting more like 5 and 6 hours. And when you talk to clients and you ask, how's your sleep? That's usually an abysmal story, myself included. And in your 20s, it's one thing to run yourself a little ragged, get up early for work and go out and party all night. But you hit your 30s and it starts to show up in a lot of ways. And even in your 20s, I think it does start to show up in ways, right? PMS, mood swings, cramps, certain things just start to peak up that are lack of sleep associated. And then when you start to look at how much it affects the bigger picture, blood sugar, stress, all these sorts of different things that are affected downstream by your lack of sleep, it really starts to compound.
100%. And I'm always sharing how I love sleep and how much sleep I'm getting in hopes that I'm going to inspire them. And I was talking to a mom friend the other day, and I was telling her how much I love sleep. And if I could sleep for 12 hours a night, like I could, if I can't, just because I have children, and I would have to be in bed by 7 o'clock every night to get that, which is not happening because my kids are still awake. But I was just talking to her about how much I love sleep and how important it is to me and how I go to bed early. We had this big conversation about it. And she was like, I'm so inspired that you can do this with twins, 2 5-year-olds. Like, I have one child, I can do this. And her child is 7. I was like, yeah, you definitely can. So I think just the conversations and talking about how we're doing this myself, I'll just say myself, I've really taken myself seriously with sleep and putting myself to bed right after I put the boys to bed, and how life-changing it has been for me. And I share this with all my clients because I'm like, we all can stay up, watch Netflix, right? We can all stay up. And I love being up at night by myself on the couch. Like, I love it. But I have turned into, I love sleep more, which I never thought would happen because, like you mentioned earlier, in my 20s, I was out. I was up, I was out. I was probably not surviving or thriving well at all, but I was doing it. But now I can't. And I've noticed with my clients that once we really start taking sleep seriously and making it a pillar of health, that it's really changed everything, especially mental health. We have to really mention that too. Sleep is so essential for your mental health.
Oh, yeah. And when you talk about things like mood swings, right? A classic sign of PMS, one of the top issues of PMS. And when you talk about perimenopause, one of the top issues in perimenopause, mood swings is really problematic throughout our lives as women. Sleep. It's one of the best answers to helping get your hormones back in balance, helping you get back on track, and helping to relieve those symptoms that afflict so many of us, right? I mean, 90% of people are dealing with PMS. Mood swings is one of the most reported PMS symptoms. So, it's just a huge part of it. And then sleep is really a big deal when it comes to stabilizing your mood swings and also sugar.
Yes. And I wanted to laugh because isn't it so obvious? Like if you're moody, you need more sleep. You either need sleep or food.
Yeah. And it's so tied together because the insulin resistance that comes, the sleep issues, your blood sugar spikes when you don't have enough sleep, all of those things tie together so well. So, really making sure that you're getting a good night's sleep is going to help with your blood sugar balance. And if you think about the cups of coffees, the sweet treats, the afternoon iced lattes, and how much energy you're taking in through caffeine and sugar to stabilize your mood, your blood sugar to stay awake, it really starts to add up. And it's such an easy thing, or it's maybe not easy, but it's one of the biggest impact things that you can do to really help stabilize your blood sugar, your mood, rely less on those caffeine, sugar uppers to get you through the day. And then what do you do to go to bed at night? You have to countereffect all of the caffeine and sugar you've had. So now you're drinking, you're having a glass or two of wine, whatever it is. But now you have to mitigate the uppers that you were taking with downers. And, they're legal, but now you're really on an upper downer roller coaster.
Yes. And what I share with my clients a lot that isn't obvious is that waking up from 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, so many women wake up at that time, stress, right? But a lot of it goes back to how you started the day and your blood sugar balance throughout the whole day. We don't associate 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with 8 a.m. the previous morning, right? But it really does matter. And we talk about this all the time, like keeping your blood sugar balanced, waking up, water, food, then put that caffeine in your body, but make sure you have protein first, keeping your blood sugar regulated all day long to help prevent that 2 to 3 a.m. wake up call. And also that third wind at night. If you're getting that at night, it could be that cup of coffee from the morning, especially if it was on an empty stomach. But lots of times I live a full day before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So I understand why my clients sometimes forget how they started their day at when they wake up in the middle of the night. But we really spend time going back and having a nice unwinding night ritual, but also how are we starting the day? Because it really does impact our sleep more than we probably have ever given it credit for.
I know. I joked how much money I saved when I started to really hone in on my sleep and getting my sleep routine together. So, like, I had eliminated caffeine because I didn't need it anymore. I was awake in the morning and I was feeling good. And then I would joke with some of my friends who were on the upper downer roller coaster of like, okay, I did caffeine and now I need to do a little glass of wine. And I just joked like, I can't believe how much money I'm saving now because I'm not buying so much coffee and booze anymore and because I don't need the upper downer roller coaster. So like as a total aside, getting your sleep locked down could actually save you money.
Definitely, especially on those sugary treats that you're eating the next day too. When you're not getting enough sleep, you'll definitely go towards the pretzels, the crackers, the sweet
Cupcakes,
treats, because your
cookies.
body needs energy. So being really mindful about that as well. And the more your blood sugar is balanced, the better you're going to sleep. We promise you. And the
Yeah.
less you're going to have those intense sugar cravings or simple carb cravings.
Yeah. So, one of my favorite things that you have said on this podcast in previous episodes is that you wake up in the morning thinking about how you're going to get a good night of sleep that night. Like, from the very first thing you do in the morning is start deciding how you're going to get a good night's sleep that night. And it really inspired me too, because I was thinking of it as more of like, I'm done with work. How am I going to wind down and get ready for bed now? That's when I started to think about it. I really love the reframe of, okay, so I'm awake. Now, how am I going to get a good night's sleep? And this is where it starts, right? That blood sugar balance, eating a good breakfast, those kinds of things. But I really loved that piece of advice. So I'm putting that out there because I think it's one of the best tips we've had for sleep.
Oh, thank you. I love that. I mean, I'm all about wanting to stay in my bed as long as I can, nice and cozy. And it really has helped me because it's also really inspired me more to get to my workouts and to do the things that I know also help my body physically get tired too. So I'm not really wound up at the end of the day either. Like it really does help me plan out my whole day, which I really like. So hopefully that can inspire all of you as well. And the other thing that I know I've talked about probably every other episode, both of us have, is magnesium.
Yeah.
Magnesium glycinate is literally a life changer for me and all my clients I talk to about because, first of all, I love magnesium. I love the idea that it's the anti-stress mineral. It's 2025. We're going into 2026. Like we're going to have stress and anxiety and all of these things coming at us all the time. We need more magnesium. And unfortunately, our soil just doesn't have as much as it used to. And lots of us are not getting enough dark leafy greens in our diet. So please get some more magnesium in. I like to take it an hour before I go to bed. I want to make sure I can get like few chapters of my romance novel done before I fall asleep because I have better dreams. But that hour and then I'm out. I love it.
Yeah. I'm still taking a third of the daily dosage and it's still helping me sleep. I know that at some point I'm going to have to up that. And when I was sick, which I'm sure you can hear, I'm coming out of having a cold right now in my voice. But when I was sick, I was taking two of the three. Like, so on my bottle that I currently have, it's 3 pills a day. And so, but I just took one, not not reading the bottle. I just took one and I was like, oh my God, this is helping me sleep amazing. Not that I was having a trouble sleeping, but I just felt like anything to help my body get support through being sick would be really helpful. But I really am loving and I got the chelated magnesium glycinate because it was on sale the first time I went in and I thought, oh great, I'm going to try it. And it has been amazing. So now I'm just watching for good sales. And whenever I see a chelated magnesium glycinate on sale, I grab a bottle and just stick it in my closet. So I'm like never going to be without it.
Oh yeah, I travel with it. I don't go anywhere without my magnesium.
Nor should you. It's amazing. But I think one of the things that you said in there that's really important too is the screen time. I know it's easier said than done. I know it's so hard. It is everything on our screen is made to be addictive, right? It is made to be bright colors, bright lights, really to get you addicted and stick with it. It's intentional. Every app wants you in there longer. They're trying to get you to stay there and click the buttons more, right? That's the whole point of every app is to get you to stay there longer, click more buttons. So they are doing all of those things that they know our brain chemistry finds addictive. So it is hard to get off of screens. You are actively fighting an addiction. It's like sugar. You are actively fighting an addiction. It's very hard, but try. Really make it a goal. I have it on my little self-care app, my little finch, my little bird. One of my last things is to get off of screens. So when I go into my little self-care app at the end of the night, I'm checking off the last things that I'm going to do for the night and they're all off screens. So there's journal, read a book, chart, all off screen things. So I tick them all as done before I do that so that I can close the app and put the phone down. And then I can go read my book, do my charting, do my journaling, do my line a day, all of those little off-screen things so that I have things to do still. Like it really, that helps me break the addiction is going, oh, but I still have some things I need to do before I can go to bed. And I just intentionally stacked the non-screen things at the end of the night. So it's my little way of getting around that iPhone screen addiction. And it's hard. You have to find something that works for you. So what's something off screen? The cat litter. I do the cat litter at night. Like just silly, dumb things that need to be done. Clean the kitchen, prep for the morning, but like all of those off-screen things I've stacked at the end. So I can go in, check them off, and then go do them after I put my phone down and I'm done with it for the night.
I love that. That's such a great idea. I literally put my phone to sleep. It's part of my evening ritual. I plug it in into the kitchen. I turn the ringer off. So don't call me if you need me. I won't answer. And I just put it to bed as if I'm putting another child to bed. It's like
Yeah.
part of my evening ritual. And the thing is, the reason why I'm really serious about this is because I worked really hard to create better quality sleep for myself. And I noticed the last thing that I would see, whether it was on Instagram or read, whether it was an email, it would stay in my brain. Even if I read a book, even if I did all these other things, and my brain was trying to go through it and understand it, or if I got like a text or something just wasn't right and I had that like weird feeling about it, I would ruminate on it all night long and it would ruin the quality of my sleep. So every night when I'm like, okay, go to bed. And when I'm like feeling really addicted to my phone, because that happens to all of us, I'll put it in my office. So I don't even go by it at night, where in the kitchen, I can still pass it, but I'll put it in my office. And that's really, really, really helped. But we have no screens in our bedroom. We don't have TV. We have an old school alarm clock. My husband doesn't have his phone in the room. And I think that's also helped me sleep better, knowing that nothing's going to ring or ding or even like turn on and be brighter. That was for me, the reason why I did it was because my brain could not turn off if I saw something I didn't like or my brain didn't like. It just really rattled me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The anxiety, I mean, even after things are over, my brain will be like, we could have done this better. And I'll spend my evening thinking about how it should have been or how it could have been or how it's just like, it's too late. It's over. The event is done. And yet my brain is going, oh, but still, because it just the anxiety brain is just overwhelming. And the world we live in is not doing anything to help calm anxiety. So I get that. I still have my phone in the room. It is my clock. I put it in sleep focus. So nothing can come through except for if one of my parents or Chris or Noelle call me. Since none of those people will ever call me, if my mom called me one time and she goes, I'm calling you. You know it's bad news because I'm actually calling you. Your grandfather's passed. Like the only time my mom has ever actually called me. It's no one's going to call me unless it's truly an emergency. So it's set so that the only thing that can come through is one of those four people who are calling me. No text can come through. Nothing can come through. And on an iPhone, when you put it sideways, it turns into a clock. So it's a red light clock. I used to have an alarm clock and I did the same thing. I left my phone in the office or the kitchen or somewhere else until my alarm clock died. And then I was just too lazy to go get a new alarm clock. And iPhones had come out with that new feature of the different focus settings and turning it sideways made it a clock. So I felt like it was kind of a test, like, can I do this? And it was fine. I would leave it there as a clock. For whatever reason, my brain just went, it's a clock now. And it just sits there, so it's okay. But if I do find myself grabbing it, although I will say that when I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't get back to sleep, I do end up grabbing my phone and reading an ebook or scrolling Reddit or something. And I hate it, but also it's tough to do anything about it. So, especially in winter when it's like it's too cold to get up and like go work or something, it's hard to get through that little bit. That's my one last thing is that middle of the night,
Yeah.
wake up, can't get back to sleep, like playing solitaire on my phone for an hour just to pass the time. That's kind of my last hiccup, but otherwise, everything else, like sleep wise, getting off the screens early, getting the phone away and done with, has been really helpful. Also, not drinking.
Yeah.
Like, I wake up a lot less since I don't drink, and I will have like a glass of wine with Thanksgiving dinner or something like that. Part of me is I am definitely a booze snob. I've worked in the best martini bar in Manhattan. You know, I worked in one of the best steakhouses in Tribeca. Like, I know wine, I know gin, I know tequila, I know, like, I'm a snob across the board when it comes to booze. So it was already like, unless I can afford to keep myself in my tastes, I'm not going to bother with it. But in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years, definitely the last 5 years, I have dramatically reduced how much I drink. And now it really is kind of a special occasion thing. And that's made a big difference in getting to sleep and staying asleep. And I know so many people think I have to have a glass of wine to get to sleep. I found that to be thoroughly untrue. Without drinking, I can stay asleep so much better.
Yeah, I think I had a sip of champagne at your wedding. I honestly can't remember. I'm trying to go back. I might have had a glass of wine when we were in Greece. Honestly, I significantly have also stopped drinking. I started in my early 30s and just realized I was trying to get better sleep when alcohol was definitely interfering. It also made me feel really low because alcohol is depressive. It made me feel really low the next day. I didn't really feel great. And I just didn't miss it. So I just kind of forgot about it and just could go out. And I'm totally fine. I like being social. I'm such a social person. So I like to go out and do things. And I don't mind that I'm not drinking. Or maybe I'll get a mocktail or I'll just have like a soda water or something. But doesn't bother me to be out socially and not drinking. I know some people don't find that to be as comfortable for them, but I'm like, yes, I'll go out. I'll go anywhere. I'm just not going to be drinking.
Yeah, same. At my own wedding festivities, I had one drink.
Yeah.
So, same. And we went to a ton of different bars and breweries and places, and I had one drink cumulatively.
Yeah.
I kind of saved it for one place that had really fancy cocktails. I wanted to try, but
But
yeah.
I think the language is, especially for moms, is like mommy wine, mommy's drink,
Yeah.
all of that. What do they call it?
Mom juice.
Mom juice. Thank you. I'm a mom and I like can't remember that. I personally, especially after having kids, I can't parent if I'm hungover. There is no way. I am like barely holding it together, getting a good night's sleep. There's no way. And I saw a lot of my friends kind of drinking and not being as present with their kids. And I was like, okay, I really want to make sure I'm being present with my kids. So even a bigger contributor is like that mom juice is not actually, it's doing nothing for me. It's doing the opposite for me personally. And it wasn't helping me unwind. I would actually get wound up, honestly. And I was like, no, I need to get a good night's sleep if I'm going to wake up and deal with screaming children the next day.
Yeah. And I mean, the flip side of the coin is that you have the no children lifestyle, which means you get to drink as much as you want. So it's like if you have kids, you have booze as the excuse because you have kids. And if you don't have kids, well, then you have no excuse. So you should be drinking. It's like no matter what, you should be drinking. And it's not terribly helpful on either side of the coin. If, again, we keep caffeine in our system twice as long as men do, we keep booze in our system twice as long as men do. So, like a guy, sure, can have a couple of beers and then by the next day be a little bit better. So, we have this it's just not as helpful for any of us. But what I really want to know is for people listening out there, putting together your nighttime routine, like how are you going to get your best night's sleep? So I want to hear what is your process to get your best night's sleep?
So, like you mentioned before, when I wake up in the morning, I think about how I'm going to fall asleep. And honestly, that has helped me prioritize my movement in the morning. Because if I don't do it in the morning, it's not happening. In terms of working out, like I will go for walks and stuff throughout the day, but the really heavy lifting I do in the morning. And how I'm eating, how I'm taking care of myself, and what I need to get done so I can be done by like 5 or 6. The other thing is, I tell my clients this all the time too. I'm like, after I'm done eating, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I put my pajamas on. We go for walks after dinner. I wear my pajamas. I don't care.
I love it.
And I'm also helping everyone else unwind. So the lights are dim. We're not doing anything wild. Like we're not running around. We're trying to undo things because when I was in my 20s or 30s, early 30s, I would get home from work really late and then I would just do everything. So I was revving up my body and my system and my nervous system, and I couldn't unwind. And I realized, oh my God, I need a longer unwinding time if I'm actually going to be asleep. So if I want to be asleep by 10, I need to have my butt in bed by 9:15. So what needs to get done earlier in the day? And I know not everybody has the same luxury of working from home, but it's been helpful for me to like do the laundry in between calls and clean the kitchen up in between calls. Because honestly, even like after dinner, I've got nothing left besides washing my face and putting my PJs on and reading and being with my kids. Like nothing else is happening unless I have plans to meet up with friends. But especially this time of year when it gets dark really early, my body's done. And I don't want to push myself like I used to because I want to go to sleep.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a dirty kitchen than a bad night's sleep. That's me. So it's really hard if you're the opposite. I would encourage all of you to figure out what you can let go of versus I have to do this before I go to sleep, because that might be preventing you. You might be doing the laundry, doing the dishes, running around, and then that might be preventing you from actually falling asleep.
I love that you said that because I am the opposite. If I know there's a load of laundry going when I'm to bed, I feel like, yes, there's something being done and I'm in bed. I sleep easier knowing that the dishwasher's running, the washer's running, the kitchen's clean, like the machines are taking over for me while I go and rest.
My husband's the same way. He loves like the dishwasher's always on, like something's always happening. And I have had to let it go because I know for me personally, it just causes my body to like turn on and I like want to turn off.
No, that makes so much sense. I mean, I've always been a night person. So I think that might be part of it is it's just this is where I have a little touch of dad's OCD is like it really makes me crazy when I know that everything's a mess out there and I'm going to wake up to it. It just stresses me out. So I know that if I can keep things wind down, but I will say that when I'm doing the kitchen at the end of the evening, I have one really soft yellow light, like not the overhead lights, but I just have this one really soft yellow light that we have in our kitchen on so that it's like actually very chill. And then we have the color changing light bulbs in the living room and the bedroom. So you can change them through like a whole rainbow of colors, but we always switch them over to red. So when it gets to be evening, which depending on the time of the year, we switch the lights over to the red lights in the evening. So that really helps. And then I'm happy to do those like end of night tasks that help my brain just start to be like clean the kitchen so that we have a nice clean slate for the morning. It just helps the anxiety so much. So doing those end of night tasks, throwing the laundry into the dryer or cleaning out the litter box or cleaning out the kitchen, just those little bits and pieces really help my brain wind down at the end of the night. It's off screens, nice dim lighting. And as I'm doing them, I'm usually moving through. So, like my calcium, magnesium, vitamin D liquid is in the refrigerator, right? So, as I'm cleaning the kitchen, I take my shot of calcium. And as I'm doing the cat litter, walking by the kitchen, right, where the garbage can is, and the freezer has the fish oil capsules in it. So, I take my fish oil capsule and give Pepper, our husky, an ice cube because she likes ice cubes year round. So, it's like there's little things that are part of my evening routine that go along with shutting down the house. And I feel like as I go through the house and do that, it also helps my mind shut down and get ready for the next day. So I find that that really helps me and it gets me off the screens. So I do the same thing though. If I need to be asleep by a certain time, I need to be in bed an hour before. I need that time to do my journal, to do my charting, to just unwind, whatever it is. And yeah, I need to move as well. I mean, doing like weights a couple times throughout the day. So I try and lift the heavy weight in our house after each meal. So like 3 times a day, I kind of walk by there and lift that thing. I try and hike the dogs. I mean, poor things have not been hiked in a week because I've been sick, but I try and take the dogs out for 2 to 4 miles, depending on how much time I have in the forest. So there's all these things that are just about like doing something good for my body, moving, but also I need to burn that energy so that I can sleep well that night. So while yeah, I'm doing them to deal with my blood sugar, right? I always take the dogs after a meal. So whether it's breakfast in the summer because it's hot during the day, or if it's after lunch in the winter when it's warmer to hike them, I do it after a meal. And that's the meal that I will splurge. Like if I'm going to have pasta or carbs or a roll or a cookie or something, it will be the meal that I'm having before I walk the dogs. So I'm really trying to time my sugar as well with movement and then doing the weights so that I'm keeping my blood sugar stabilized throughout the day, but also burning that energy so that I can have a better night of sleep at night. And yeah, doing the same thing. I am trying to brush my teeth a little bit earlier as well, so that I have less excuses to go have a little treat in the evening. So when I'm done with work for the day, what's left on my list, put it on the list for tomorrow, set myself up for the next day, clean out the inbox one last time, that kind of stuff, shut down the house. And it's all steps to shutting my brain down for the night. So anything I can do to just help the brain anxiety come down a few notches before going to bed is part of that process.
Yeah, and that's so smart. And I think hopefully as you're listening to this, you can see there's no right or wrong way, right? It's figuring out what works for you to help you get a better night's sleep and practice. I feel like this took me a long time. I always say that, like, it took me a long time to learn how to sleep well. And then, hello, perimenopause.
Yeah.
So far, I'm going to knock on wood. Things are okay for me with sleep right now. When that changes, I will be figuring out ASAP what I need to do differently to make sure that I can maintain my sleep. But it took me a long time. And I do admit that I notice, like 2 nights ago, I was really tired. My period's coming tomorrow. I went to bed even earlier and I give myself permission to go to bed. It was 8 o'clock and I said to my husband, I'm going to bed. And he's like, it's 8 o'clock. I'm like, yep, the boys went to bed early tonight. I'm done. I just went to bed. So give yourself permission to go to bed earlier. Give yourself permission to try different things and figure out what works. And then know that when you have a more busy, stressful time of life or hormonal changes, the shifts, there's going to be new shifts and new things to add in, take away. And I was laughing before when you were like, I'm a night person, because I used to be a night owl. I love being up at night. And now I feel like I thrive from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, yes, I've got this.
I know I knock so much out in the morning now because I had a good night's sleep.
Yes.
So I do get up in the morning and I'm like, all right, let's knock stuff out first thing in the morning. And I really get so much done before, like you said, like I can get more done before 10 a.m. now than it's kind of crazy. But like I get up and I have energy in the morning now. You know, it's cold. That's another point is cyclically and seasonally, things will need to adjust. It's cold in the morning. I don't jump up and hike the dogs first thing in the winter like I do in the summer. So it's a totally different, like everything gets rearranged because I'm going to stay in bed for like an hour in the morning if I can get away with it before I get out from under the covers because it's just cold and I don't want to. So seasonally, but also cyclically, I also go to bed way earlier when I'm in luteal around my period for sure. And follicular, I have a hard time getting to sleep. That's when I really can. It's like, oh yeah, I'm definitely a night person because I'm like ready and raring to go in follicular in the evening. And I have to really intentionally go bedtime ritual. That's the difference between routine and ritual, though, right? Ritual adapts with the seasons, with the cycles, with where you are in life, with today versus a routine, which is the thing that you do thoughtlessly every day, right? Really thinking of your sleep ritual and knowing that like you might make a list of all the things that you love to do for your sleep ritual and it will ebb and flow. Like I do not castor oil in the summer, but I do it almost every night in the winter. I love the heat pack process. But in the summer, I don't do it. So what is on your master list of sleep rituals? And then know that you're not going to do them all every night. You're going to ebb and flow where you are in your cycle, where the seasons are, with the stress levels in your life. You may need more, you may need less. I really encourage people to just start a list of things that you want to do before you go to bed, whether that's in a little self-care app or it's a little sheet of paper on your nightstand. But have a little list of things, little rituals that you want to try, and then keep note. Chart. Did it work? Did it not work? Did you have a good night of sleep? Did you not have a good night of sleep? Track what worked, what didn't work, what felt good, what didn't feel good. Try them at different parts of your cycle. Try them in different parts of the seasons, if it's cold, if it's hot, if it's dark early, late, and see what really works for you in what season. And you can lock things in so that when you do hit life changes like getting married, perimenopause, business issues, whatever it is, things happen, you can ebb and flow with it. And you always have that list to fall back on.
Let us know what works. Let us know what you're practicing, how you're feeling, but we can all agree that we need more sleep, more quality sleep. And as women, we need more sleep than our partners if our partner's a male. So I always say to my husband, I'm going to bed because I need more sleep. So you can do whatever you want. I'm going to bed.
Preach.
Yes. And let us know how you're doing with sleep. Ask us questions. As you have been hearing us chat, we've been trying things for years. So let us know if you have questions about anything. And we are wishing all of you a really great night's sleep tonight. We'll see you next time, besties. Bye for now.
A big shout out and thank you to our sponsors for today's episode, Period Coaching School and Katie Bresek Wellness.
Thanks to you, our favorite bestie, for listening to the Period Besties podcast, where no topic is TMI. And of course, share this episode with your besties.
Remember to leave us a 5-star review, nothing less than the best for us besties, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
You can follow us on Instagram at Stasha Washburn and at Katie Bresek, or email us at periodbestiespodcast@gmail.com.
Check out more about us at katiebresek.com and periodcoachingschool.com. And of course, check the show notes for free goodies and extras that support this episode.
We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye for now, besties.